Today was a difficult day for me. Number one, I'm usually not up this early in the morning. I work throughout the night. I wrote a poem a while ago about being a creature of the night. And literally, I am a creature of the night. I usually get up about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I go out to the garden. I greet the ancestors, do libations, work around in my garden a bit, and then I do most of my spiritual work in the night. And last night was a particularly difficult night. There's a lot of things that went on, and I was up to about 3 o'clock, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up about 8 o'clock to do an interview. And I'm here, and like I said, I'm not a morning person. But it was difficult today to get up, to come here, to prepare all this right here and the things that we're doing here, but it was necessary. And sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone, and sometimes there are challenges that come, and we have to confront them magically. I am about the woo. I am completely magical, and no matter what's going on, and no matter what the tide is, I believe in the woo and I believe in the magic. To me, all things boil down to a magical universe. Science and religion, they fall into the same trap. Science says that there was this singularity and things came forth from this singular point of view, and then all things came forth from nothing, and that nothing really has the capability of creating things. Christians say, well, God did it. Muslims say that, and Jews say that God made everything. But when their back is against the wall, it all comes to the same thing. What made God? And what caused that nothing to react and become what it is? To me, it's magical. You cannot logically explain this universe. No matter how much Neil and others try, you just can't do it. You're going to always run into that's illogical. I call this magic. And when we deal with it from a magical lens, then it makes better sense, doesn't it? And this is why Jesus said, according to your faith, so be it unto you, according to your belief. And there's a lot of scientists that's coming to this notion of this holographic universe, that our beliefs, our thoughts can affect reality. And I'm in this class. I believe in a mixture of spirituality and science. And in this mixture, this concoction, I had a book. Oh, here it is. I didn't know they put the book behind me. I didn't do that. Okay? My staff did that. It wasn't me. I don't like product placement. I didn't know it was here. But I explain a lot of these things in my book. It's about a month old now, almost a month old. You can get a copy of this on Amazon, or you can contact us. You can get it also from Kindle. I explain my ideas about this. And I think it's a better idea than what's been in the Christian church. And this whole idea of what the scientists are saying, well, there's a scientific explanation for everything. I don't think there is. I think we can explain some things. But if the apparatuses we're using to pontificate our scientific thinking is based upon the aftermath of any singularities or any type of creations, then those apparatuses are limited based upon a skewed view of how we view the universe. So no matter what Caltech's numbers say, or MIT, or whatever scientist, astro scientists, or whatever you got, their stuff is limited based on our way of looking at things. And, we can't get outside of our own headspace to do that. You need to have magical thinking in order to do that. And even in the scientific arena, they have what they call imaginary numbers, and they have imaginary thinking there. That's abstract thinking outside of the normal way of thought. But bottom line is this: magic can get you through the tough times. Magic can get you through the heartbreaks and when things are difficult and when things are turned upside down. And I was talking to a couple of coven mates who had just lost a family member that was dear to them. And this is a tough time. But at the same time, if you believe that we truly don't die and that we transition, then there's hope. The Apostle Paul said, "We do not grieve as those who do not have hope." We have hope. And our hope is within our magical thinking, our magical wherewithal. The very fact that we're magic gives us the fortitude to continue on. And that's what I offer you today. We're going to be doing a lot of different things. By the way, I am going to have a conference, a 3-day conference, and I'm going to explain this book because there's some concepts in here. Some of them are pretty difficult to understand when I'm explaining them, and I want to kind of break that down. And we'll be talking a lot about that on this channel and other channels. But needless to say, just keep hope. Keep hoping, like the Reverend Jesse Jackson used to say. Keep hope alive. Keep pressing forward. No matter how difficult it seems, no matter what goes on, no matter if you have to get up early in the morning, you just keep hope alive and you keep moving. You keep doing it. There's a lot of pushback I get. I was listening to, I think her name is the Bronx Witch. Is that her name? And I love her channel. I love the work she's doing. And, she was talking about the death threats that she was getting and things of this nature. And I can relate. There's people that get upset when you claim the title witch. They don't understand it. They've been poorly taught about it. A lot of magical practitioners would prefer that we as African Americans call ourselves something else. Now, how the hell are you going to prefer something from me? It's my life. But anyway, there it is. And there's some people there's some people that are white that don't like us talking our mind. They don't like us speaking our truth. They get a little nervous about it. And I noticed that on my Facebook page, if I say something pro-black, a lot of my white witch friends, they don't have much to say. But if I say something that's just about the craft, you get a lot of likes and a lot of loves. It's almost as if they don't even see the stuff I say concerning slavery and concerning the black plight. That's not even of concern. And I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying it seems that way. And I'm just saying it seems that way with a lot of things. When I look around on the pagan television channels and stuff like that, I'm wondering, where are our representation? Is it that we're not involved, or is it that you just don't put us on? Okay? And to hell with letting you put us on, I'll put myself on, And I say that to all the other black practitioners out there. That's the beauty of magic. We don't have to sit back and beg for a seat at the table. But we can do like Abdullah. We can make our own seat. We can get our own tickets. We can do our own things. And that's what Wintercrest is doing. Wintercrest is not about a one specific race of people. It's about the whole of humanity. All those that are willing to support can. And now there's some people that have problems sitting underneath a black leader. And we see this displayed even in Christianity. The whitest of all religions is Christianity. And it's the biggest and the whitest of all religions. And you got men like T.D. Jakes and men like Creflo Dollar, men like Fred Price, with pockets of white people in it. A lot of white people don't like sitting under black voices. It's like, we can go to school with you, we can fellowship with you, but we can't be underneath you. We don't like that. That's not our position. You're supposed to be underneath us. And so there's some people that get really offended by things like that. And if you get offended by that, baby, I can't help you. That's your problem. Because I am not nobody house Negro. I'm nobody that. And I don't encourage y'all to be that. And I'm not saying that we're better than others. But what I am saying is that we sure as hell not underneath nobody. And but I noticed that. And I've met a lot of black witches. I met Starhan Ravenhawk. I met Chandra. There's a lot of ethnic witches that claim the title witch, and that are very bold and upfront. But they don't. I don't see them in the magazines. I see Scarlet and others in the magazines. And again, I'm not begging y'all to put us in your magazines. If I want one, I'll start one. And so please don't mistake this. I'm not one who will beg you or Muggle or anyone else for a spot at the table. Don't do me no favors, okay? I believe that my magic is prolific enough and strong enough that I can make myself prosperous. Look here, baby. If I touch it, it's going to prosper. Okay? So I'm not crying about what's going on. I'm just acknowledging what is going on. But regardless of whatever the thing is, you as a practitioner, you keep your faith and you continue to move on. And you continue to stand strong. But I just thought that was kind of weird, I mean, Creflo Dollar don't hoop, he don't holler. And I don't agree with the man's theology. But he with Kenneth Copeland, He's with the Southern Western Believers Convention. What are the white brothers and white sisters? And don't you think this is odd? This is, to me, is strange. When Barack Obama was president, if he wore the wrong colored suit, there was a big problem. Now, Ronald Reagan wore the same colored suit, and everybody called it stylish. And so you can't help but to see that. And if you don't like what I'm saying, man, to hell with you. I don't care about whether you like what I'm saying or not. It's the truth, what I'm saying. And if we as pagans value truth, I'm telling you my truth. And you may not agree with that truth, but from my way I'm seeing it, it looks very truthful to me, It looks very truthful from my perspective. I'm not saying that all white witches are racist. I shouldn't even have to make that statement. When I talk about black racism, I don't say all black people ain't racist. You shouldn't have to make that statement. White people should not be the litmus test for success, especially after there are so many black inventions and black creations. In fact, America would not be America without the black inventions. And when you talk like this, they say, well, he's too much in the black pride. Of course I am. Okay? But that's not what's going on here. I believe in giving credit to where credit is due. And so I got a lot of white friends that's in the crowd, and they're great friends. They're great friends. I consider them brothers and sisters. But the truth is the truth. And so some people don't like you speaking this truth. Some people don't like you speaking and sharing your truth and how you see things. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Okay? Wintercrest is here. Join. If I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Show me the truth. If I'm wrong. But if I'm right, Creflo Dollar, Fred Price, before he passed, you have one black brother in the Southern Baptist churches that they listen to him preach. I don't know what the color differentiation of his church is, but I'm just simply saying there's a lot of white people that have trouble following a black voice. We're not supposed to be the leaders. We're supposed to be the followers. And at best, you can deal with us as long as we're not above you. And that's private conversation. Black folks know they talk this way. They do it at the picnics and stuff like that. They don't want us ahead of them. And a lot of black folks ain't trying to get ahead of no one. They just want to sit back and stay on the hood and the video games and whatever they're doing. I don't want to throw no stereotypes out there because not all black people are on welfare. Most of us not. I think they're finding that out underneath this Trump administration that some of us got a little money with us. You know what I'm saying? Some of us, our banks are loaded, okay? So there's a misconception. They think that black folks steal all the time. Black folks do steal, but not as more than white folks or any other folks. There's some I don't steal, but there's some black folks that do. I'm not denying that. What I am saying, though, is that a lot of y'all got a problem with black success, and that's just the truth of it. I'm not going to be quiet about that. In our pagan walk, it is what it is. And I don't have many filters, so whatever I think and say in private, I'm going to say it publicly, irregardless of what you feel about it. But the bottom line was this. You be who you are. You continue to prevail. You continue to grow, no matter who in the hell that makes uncomfortable. This is Paul Abiyahu. Until next time, Wintercrest, blessed be.